ဒီနေ့ဘာစာအုပ်ဖတ်မှာလဲဆိုတော့ L.A.Winners Phillips Browse မဟုတ် Browse ပေါ့ဘယ်နိုင်ရှိပြီလဲဆိုတော့ဖုန်း restart ပြန်ချနေတဲ့အတွက်အချိန်ကတော့မသိဘူးဒါပေမဲ့ဒါဖတ်မယ်သူ့ရဲ့ short story line လေးရတာပေါ့နော် elementary level ပဲရှိရကလေးလေးအတွက်ဒါလေးရအောင်ဖတ်ပြီးပြောတယ် The woman looked around my office. She looked at the old furniture and the dirty windows. She looked at the broken blinds and the plastic coffee cups in the waste bin. Then she looked at me. I wasn't looking good. I hadn't shaved, and my suit and hair was untidy. The woman didn't speak. Suddenly she took a handkerchief out of her bag. She wiped the dust from the chair and she sat down. Mr. Samuel, she said, I saw your name and address in the telephone book. Are you cheap? And are you a good detective? I'm not good, I replied. I'm the best private detective in Los Angeles. Content. Elementary level is about here. Elementary level Macmillan reader. Elementary level founding editors Jones Mill. The Macmillan readers provide a choice of enjoyable reading materials for learners of English. The series is published at 6 levels: starter, beginner, elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, and upper. Intermediate and upper. Upper intermediate. Level control. Information, structures, and vocabulary are controlled to suit the student ability at each level. Level starter about 300 basic words. Beginners about 600 basic words. Elementary about 1100 basic words. Pre-intermediate about 1400 basic words. Beyond pre-intermediate about 1600 basic words. Upper about 2200 basic words. Vocabulary. Some difficult words and phrases in this book are important for understanding the story. Some of these words are explained in the story and some are shown in the pictures. From pre-intermediate level upwards, words are marked with a number like this. 3. These words are explained in the glossary at the end of the book. Here. Hey, what is that? I can't see it. Anyway, here. Contents. Okay, let's going to choose the phone. Trying to choose the language is going to be the English United Kingdom. And select a region is going to be Myanmar. And character encoding is going to be the Zochi. Terms and conditions is going to use. Mobile data is going to be off. And this one, I can do it later on, you see. This one, 5 generation is there, 2.4 generation there. But when I connect to the 5 generations, it said you cannot connect at all. And the network is hidden. I can't find it anymore. And try to use the things and then accept all. And then maybe later. And welcome. Get started. What's the date today? It's going to be the 12th of June 2025. The time is 11 to 10. 9:49. Let's read the book. Contents: California Dreaming, Sandy Bronner, the L.A.Winner Ranch, Santa Rosita Tracetrack, the Red 4-wheel and 4-4. Back to L.A., Sandy again, Golden Dragon, the race, the chief, L.A.'s winners. Points for understanding. Okay, so start reading now. California Dreaming. I was dreaming about Hawaii. I was dreaming about my holiday. In my dreams, I was on a beach in Hawaii. The hot sun was shining on my face. The sound of the sea was all around me. But it was a dream. 3 weeks ago, I had been lying on a beach in Hawaii, but I was not in Hawaii anymore. I was not in Hawaii now. I was dreaming in my office in Los Angeles. I have returned from my holidays, and there were no works for me. Nobody wanted to hire me. I went to my office every day, but the phone didn't ring. So I slept in my chair and I dreamed about Hawaii. I was dreaming a wonderful dream. The sun was hot, the noise of the sea was loud, and there was a beautiful woman standing next to me. Suddenly, there was a voice in my dream. Somebody was calling my name. Mr. Samuel, wake up! Please wake up. I want to talk to you. I opened my eyes. It was April in Los Angeles. The hot sun was shining on my face. The sun is shining through my office window, and there was a woman standing beside me. She was calling my name, but she was angry with me. Mr. Samuel, wake up! Why are you sleeping at 11:45 in the morning? The woman was about 25 years old. She had long dark hair. She was wearing a short green dress and a brown leather coat. She had a lovely face. Perhaps this woman is a client, I thought. Perhaps she hired me. Perhaps she has a job for me. I smiled at the woman, but she didn't smile at me. Are you Lenny Samuel, the private detective? She asked. Yes, I'm Lenny, I said. Please sit down. I pointed to a wooden chair on the other side of my desk. The woman looked around my office. She looked at the old furniture and the dirty windows. She looked at the broken blinds and the plastic coffee cups in the waste bin. Then she looked at me. I haven't shaved and my suit and hair were untidy. The woman didn't speak. Suddenly she took a handkerchief out of her bag. She wiped the dust from the chair and she sat down. Mr. Samuel, she said, I saw your name and address in the telephone book. Are you cheap and are you good detective? I'm not good, I replied. I'm the best private detective in Los Angeles, L.A. The woman laughed. Are you joking? She said. The best private detectives have secretaries, and the best private detectives don't have dirty and tidy offices. But I want to hire you. Will you do a job for me, Mr. Samuel? What do you want me to do? I asked. I didn't like the woman. She was rude. But I needed money. I needed money quickly. My holiday in Hawaii has cost $1,000. I have borrowed the money. Now I have to pay back the money. I haven't borrowed $1,000 from a bank. I have borrowed it from Harmon. Harmon was a bodyguard. His office was next to mine. She worked for Flimster. He was very tall, more than 2 meters, and he weighed 140 kilos. Now Harmon wanted his money back, and when Harmon wanted something, he always got it. I smiled at the woman again. She didn't smile at me. She got up from her chair and walked to the window. My office is on the 4th floor on the old building. The woman looked down at the street. Then she turned around. Mr. Samuel, I want you to find the chief, she said. He disappeared yesterday morning. Something has happened to him. Something bad. Okay, I said. I took a notepad and a pen out of my desk. Describe him, please. But I must tell you something. I do almost any work. But there is one thing I won't do. I won't look for husbands who have disappeared. Is the chief your husband? No, the woman said. The chief is not my husband. The chief is a horse. I looked at the woman in the green dress. A horse? I said. You want me to find a horse? Was the woman joking? Yes, she replied. I want you to find a horse. Miss, I said, I don't know anything about horses. Horses have 4 legs and they run around. I don't know anything more about them. Okay, now you learn more about horses, Mr. Samuel, the woman said. There was a noise outside my door. The woman turned and looked at it. Suddenly she was frightened. Somebody knocked at the door. It was the glass door. The words L. Samuel, private investigator, were written on it in big black letters. The person who was outside the door knocked again. He knocked very hard. Come in, I shouted. Don't break the glass. The door opened and a huge man walked in. He was very tall, more than 2 meters, and he weighed 140 kilos. It was Harmon. Hi, Lenny. Harmon said, I've come for my money. Have you got it? Then Harmon saw the dark-haired woman sitting by the desk. He smiled at her. Harmon had lots of white teeth. Oh, I'm sorry, miss, he said. I didn't see you when I came in. Are you talking about business with Lenny? I'll come back later. Harmon smiled at the woman again, and then he turned and left the room. Who's that? The woman asked. She wasn't frightened now. He's big and strong. Perhaps he will help me to find my horse. No, he won't, I replied quickly. That was Harmon. He's the bodyguard. He's not a detective. I can find the horse that you lost. But I haven't lost the horse, the woman said. People don't lose horses, Mr. Samuel. Horses run away or someone steal them, I asked. Yes, she said. Okay, I said. Tell me the facts. Describe the horse, please. He's 12 years old and 2 meters high. He had brown hair and brown eyes, she replied. I'm sorry, I said. The description won't help me. Have you got a photograph of him? The woman smiled. Yet she said, here's a photo of the chief. The picture was taken after his last race. The chief is a racehorse, I asked. He was a racehorse, she replied. He was one of the best racehorses. The woman gave me a color photo. It was a picture from a magazine. It was a picture of a black brown horse. It was standing by a crowd of people. Some of the people were touching the horse. Next to it, it was a jockey in brightly colored riding clothes. That's the chief, the woman said. The photo was taken at Hollywood Park racetrack 2 years ago. It was taken when the chief won an important race. Wow, I said. I didn't know anything about horse racing, but Hollywood Park racetrack is a very well-known racetrack. So the horse is a racehorse called the chief, she said. No, I told you. The woman said. The chief was racehorse. He doesn't race now. The chief lives with me at my ranch now. He has retired from racing. So you have a ranch? I asked. I thought about the job. This woman has a ranch, I thought. So she has a lot of money. If I work for her for 5 days, I will earn $100,000 US. I'm able to pay Harmon. Yes, I have a ranch, the woman replied. It's called the L.A.Winner Ranch. It's in the hills. It's near the Santa Rosita racetrack. I wrote these facts on my notepad. I knew about Santa Rosita. It was a small racetrack, but it was very popular. I kept retired racehorses. horses that don't race anymore. The woman said, people come and stay at the ranch and they ride the horses. I said, and your name is? My name is Sandy Bonner, she said. What's your phone number? I asked. You mustn't phone me. I phoned you, she said quickly. You mustn't come to the ranch. Why mustn't I come to the ranch, Mr. Bonner? I asked. Mr. Samuel, Sandy Bonner replied. You are working for me. I'm going to pay you. You mustn't ask me any more questions. How much money do you want? I want $200 a day, I said. Sandy took some blank banknotes from her bag and then she gave them to me. Okay, Mr. Samuel, here $200, she said. I phoned you this evening. She stood up and I walked to the door. Wait a minute, Sandy, I said quickly. I need to know more facts. When did the chief disappear and how did he disappear? Sandy turned and then she looked at me. He disappeared yesterday morning, she replied. A man came to the ranch. He wanted to ride the chief. He paid $100 to ride the horse for an hour. Wow, I thought. I'm in a wrong business. I earn $200 a day. This horse earned $100 an hour. The man paid me and then he rode away on my chief. Sandy ran on. That was at 10 o'clock. The man didn't come back and neither did the horse. Did this man ride away alone? I asked. Yes, Sandy said. I usually ride with visitors, but I was busy yesterday. The man was a good rider. I wasn't worried. Did you know the man who took the horse? I asked. I never seen him before, she replied, but he told me his name. He was called Dick Gates. Did Mr. Gates show you any ID and identification paper? I asked. Sandy shook her head. No, Mr. Samuel, she said. So a stranger rode away on a valuable horse, I said, and he didn't come back. Were you surprised? Yes, I was surprised, Sandy said quietly. Mr. Gates gave me a phone number, but when I phoned the number, it was no reply. Did you call the police? I asked. No, I didn't. Sandy replied slowly. Then she stopped speaking. She was very worried. She walked back to the chair and then she sat down again. Why didn't you call the police, Sandy? I asked. Because I got a phone call, Sandy answered. 2 hours after Dick Gates rode away on a chief, a man phoned me, she said. I don't know who the man was. He wasn't Gates. The man said, I got the chief, Miss Bonner. I borrowed the horse. I returned him after a few days. But if you call the police, the chief will be killed. We watching you. So I don't want you to phone me, Mr. Samuel. And I don't want you to come to the ranch. If you do, these men will kill the chief. Okay, I said, I understand. Describe Mr. Gates, please. He was about 40 years old, and he was tall and heavy, said Sandy. He had long red hair. It was tied in a ponytail. He was wearing blue jeans and a brown jacket. That's a very good description, I said. Did he come to a ranch in a car? I don't know, Sandy said. She looked at the watch. I have to go now. I phoned you this evening. She stood up and she walked to the window. She looked down the street for half a minute. Then she walked to the door. Goodbye, Mr. Samuel. Please find the chief for me, she said. L.A.Winner ranch. I watched Sandy Bonner leave my office. She told me a very strange story. Was her story true? I wanted to find out about her. I decided to follow her. I picked up my hat and my jacket. Quickly, I left the office. I ran down the stairs. When I got to the highway, Sandy had left the building. I went outside. I saw Sandy at the corner of the street. She was getting into a small black car, a four-wheel drive. I got into my own car, which was parked near the office building. As Sandy drove away, I started my gray Tesla, and I joined the traffic. Sandy Bonner black four-wheel drive was 100 meters in front of me. It was a beautiful Friday in L.A. Blue sky, sunshine, and a smoke. smoke. There was a lot of traffic. The engines of the cars and the trucks and the buses make the smoke in the air. I thought about the clean air in Hawaii. Then I thought about Herman and about the money I owe him. The traffic moved slowly. There were 4 cars between me and a black 4-wheel drive. Sandy drove through the city, then toward the Pasadena. I followed her. She turned onto Foothill Freeway. We drove east towards the San Gabriel Mountains. 45 minutes later, I was driving past the Santa Rosita racetrack. Sandy was still 100 meters in front of me, but after another 10 minutes, the black 4-wheel drive turned off the freeway. I turned off too, and I started to follow Sandy's cars along a small road, but I slowed down soon. I was about 300 meters behind Sandy. I didn't want her to see me. The road was straight and flat. There was dry bushes on each side of the road, and there was dry grass. The grass was yellow and dusty. After about 3 kilometers, I saw some trees. The black 4-wheel drive turned off the road near the trees. Sandy drove on a track. I slowed down again and I stopped my cars. I watched Sandy's cars. The 4-wheel drive went along the track for 300 meters. Then it stopped near some building. Sandy got out of the car and she went into one of the buildings. I started my car again and I drove slowly towards the tree. I turned off the road and onto the track. Where the track joined the road, there was a red and white sign. The words L.A.Winner Ranch was painted on it. After a few meters, I turned off the track and I parked the car in the trees. There was a pair of binoculars in my car. I picked them up and I got out of the car. I leaned onto the top of the car and I pointed the binocular at the buildings. I looked through binocular. I saw a large white ranch house, and I saw some long, low wooden buildings next to it. There were some horses near these buildings. The low buildings are the stable where the horses are kept, I said to myself. I got back into the car and I waited. I could see the ranch, but no one at the ranch could see me or my car. Half an hour later, a car came along the road and turned onto the track. The car passed me and it was toward the ranch house. It was a big 4-wheel drive. The red 4-wheel drive stopped next to Sandy's black car and a man got out. He went into the ranch house. I sat in my car and I waited. Nothing moved. It was hot and dusty. No one was riding a horse. Nothing happened. I decided to go closer to the ranch house. I looked at the track between the trees and the ranch house. There were some bushes at the side of the track. The bushes were halfway between the house and my car. I got off my car. I ran with the binocular in one hand towards the bushes. When I reached the bushes, I lay down on the ground. The ground was hot and very dusty. I lifted the binoculars and I looked through them. I could see the ranch house clearly now. I could see the red-black cars outside. The red 4-wheel drive was turned towards me. There was a piece of paper fixed to its front door. I turned a small wheel on my binoculars. Now I could see the paper more clearly. I read some words on the paper. The paper was a compact ticket for the Santa Rosita racetrack. Then I turned the wheel on my binoculars again. I looked at the house. Suddenly I saw Sandy Bonner. She was inside the house. She was standing near one of the large windows. She was talking to someone, a tall, slim man with dark hair. That man is Dick Gates. And I thought Kate has red hair. Suddenly, Sandy stepped forward and hit the man across the face. အရှိရပါဝါလူကဒီဘက်ရောက်လာပြန်ပြီ The man lifted his hand. He was going to hit Sandy. At the moment, Sandy moved away from the window. I couldn't see what happened next. I stood up. I was going to run to the ranch house and help Sandy. Stay where you are, man shouted. I turned. About 5 meters behind me, there was an old woman. He was wearing blue overall, a cotton shirt and a white hat. He had a rifle in his hands. He was pointing the gun at me. I smiled and I started to walk towards the old man. "Hi," I said. "What's wrong?" There was a shot from the rifle, and a dash by my foot flew into the air. I stopped. "Who are you, strangers?" The old woman asked. "What are you doing here?" I thought for a few seconds. The old woman chewed gum slowly. He watched me. "I'm watching birds," I said, smiling. I showed him my binocular. "There were some interesting birds over there." I pointed toward the house. I was watching them. The old woman looked toward the ranch house. "There aren't any birds there, mister," he said. I smiled again. "No, there aren't," I said. "Won't you fire your rifle? You frightened the birds." "People don't wear suits when they watch birds," the old man said angrily. "Why are you hiding in these bushes? This is private land. Now go back to your car and leave." The old man stepped forward and pushed me with the rifle. "Who are you?" I asked. "And why are you telling me what to do?" "I'm Lou Weaver. I work here. I work for Miss Bonner family for more than 30 years. The old woman said. He pushed me with the rifle again. "Miss Bonner is my boss. I do what she told me to do. I had this gun and I'm telling you what to do. Now leave and stay away from here." I turned and walked quickly back to the car. I didn't say anything. I didn't tell the old man about my meeting with Sandy. Sandy Bonner has told me not to come to the ranch. I have made a mistake. I didn't want the old man to tell Sandy about my mistake. Lou Weaver followed me. He stood in the tree as I got into my car. I saw him in the driving mirror as I drove away. Lou Weaver was chewing his gum and looking at me. I drove back toward L.A. I have to help Sandy and I have to find the chief. How? Then I remembered the car park ticket on the window of the four-wheel drive. The Watts Center Rosita racetrack was written on that car park ticket. I didn't know anything about horse racing and racehorses, so I decided to go to Santa Rosita racetrack. I wanted to find out about horse racing and I wanted to find out more about the thin dark man. Perhaps someone at the Santa Rosita knew him. Santa Rosita racetrack. I turned off the freeway at Santa Rosita racetrack. It was a small racetrack, but it was beautiful. There was tall tree by the dust track. There were high, dark blue mountains behind it. Sand jockeys are riding their horses on the track. The sun shone down from the blue sky. It was late afternoon, but the sun was very bright. Everything was peaceful. There weren't many cars in the car park. I parked my car and I put on a baseball cap and a small some dark glasses. Then I left the car and I walked towards the track. I stood by the dusty track and I watched the horses. There was no racing today. These horses were training. The horses were very large and very fast. I was surprised. When a horse went past me, the noise from its feet was loud, and dust flew into the air. I looked around me. Near the track there was some office building and some stable. There were a high fence around these buildings. I walked towards the stable area. There was a gateway in the fence. The gate was very tall. It was closed. As I went nearer, I saw the gate open. A truck with a trailer came out. I didn't see anyone near the gate, but it was close behind the trailer. I waited and watched. A few minutes passed. Then a four-wheel with a trailer came in from the road. The car stopped by the gate. There was a car park ticket on the front of the window of the four-wheel truck. The driver put his head out of the side of the window of the car. He spoke into a metal box near the fence. Then the gate opened, and the car and the trailer went through the gateway. I walked over to the gate and I waited. A minute later, another car came in from the road. The driver spoke into the box. The gate opened. As the car went through the gateway, I walked beside it. Now I was inside the stable area. I walked a few meters away from the gateway. "Hey, you!" a man shouted. Suddenly, someone came up behind me. He held my arms and pushed me against a stable wall. "Stand against the wall. Hold your arms out. Don't turn around," the man said. I did what the man told me. He searched the pockets of my clothes. The man was behind me and I couldn't see his face. He took my detective license out of my pocket. Then there was a loud laugh. The man pulled off my baseball cap and my dark glasses. "Leaning Samuel," the man said, "turn around." I turned around. A big man was standing in front of me. He was wearing a brown uniform with a dark cap and glasses. I knew him. His name was Slim Peters. But his name was a joke. He wasn't thin. He was fat. Many years ago, both Slim and I have been an LA policeman. "Slim," I said, "what are you doing here?" Slim pointed at his uniform. "I'm a racetrack security guard," he replied. "But I'm asking you a question. What are you doing here?" I didn't answer his question. "How did you see me?" I asked. Slim pointed to the gateway. "I saw you on TV," he replied. He laughed again. There was a TV camera on the fence above the gate. Then Slim pointed to a small building near the gateway. "I walk over there," he said. "So can you see anyone who enters and leaves on TV?" I asked. "Yes," Slim replied. "But Lenny, you haven't answered my question. What are you doing here?" "I want to talk to someone who knows about racehorses, Slim," I said. "What happens to the best racehorses when they retire? Can you help me?" I didn't ask Slim about the thin dark man who drove the red four-wheel drive. "Come to my office," said Slim. "We have some coffee and we talk about your problem." We went to Slim's office and we sat down. Slim gave me back my detective license. "Are you the only security guard here, Slim?" I asked. "I'm the only guard here this afternoon," Slim replied. "There is no racing today. Friday is the training day. The horses are training today. Security is low on training days. There are more guards on racing days. And when there's racing, security is very high. On racing days, we have to check everyone's ID. And the racetrack official have to check the horse's ID on a racing day." "Do horses have ID?" I asked. "Yes," Slim replied. "Every racehorse has a passport with a photograph and all the horse detail written on it, and every horse has a number tattooed inside his mouth." Slim makes some coffee. We sat at his desk and drank the coffee. Slim took at the TV screen as cars went in and out of the gate. Then we talked about my problem. "Who shall I talk about? The retired horses?" I asked Slim. "Talk to the racehorse trainers who are here today," Slim said. "Ask one of the trainers about the retired racehorses. But if you're going into the stable area, you must have a security pass. I give you one." He opened a drawer in his desk and he pulled out a pass. It was a small yellow card on a piece of card. Of what all areas are written on the card. Slim gave me the pass. "You can use this today," Slim said. Put it around your neck." "Can I use it tomorrow?" I asked. "No, you can't use it tomorrow," Slim replied. "There are yellow passes for training days and blue passes for racing days. I can't give you blue pass. Only racetrack officials, owners, trainers, jockeys, and the people who take care of the horses have blue passes." Other people can go into the stable area on racing day. I took the pass, but I continued talking to Slim. I learned a lot about racetrack security. There was racing at the Santa Rosita racetrack from December to April. There were races on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Horses train on the racetrack on the other days. The horse's owner had stable at the racetrack. Horses were brought to the racetrack to train. They stayed in the stable while they were waiting to train, and they rested in the stable after training. Then the horses were taken away. On training days, trailer with horses were arriving and leaving all day. Nobody checked the horses or the trainers on training days. On racing days, the horses stayed in the stable while they were waiting to race, and they rested in the stable after their races. But on racing day, the horses' ID were checked carefully. The IDs were checked when the horses arrived at the racetrack, and they were checked again and then when they left. Racetrack official looked at the horses' passport and their tattoos. After 30 minutes, I stood up and I walked to the door. Slim has given me a lot of information. I try to remember everything that he has told me. Thank you for your help, I said to Slim. I talked to some trainer now. I put the yellow security pass around my neck. Okay, Lennon, Slim said. I was pleased to help. Give me back the pass when you leave. Come here and watch the race tomorrow afternoon. I smiled. No, thank you. I said I'll be walking. A few minutes later, I was watching some jockey bringing their horses back to the stable. I talked to one of them. Then I talked to some of the people who took care of the horses. I found out some interesting facts about racing. People earn a lot of money from horse racing. One woman told me people bet millions of dollars on horse races. The best race horses are very valuable. Most race horses are less valuable when they retire. She went on, but some retired race horses are used for breeding. Their owners bred young race horses from them. These breeding horses are very valuable. None of this information helped me. Sandy didn't use the chief for breeding. The chief earned money because people want to ride a famous winner. The chief was a Sandy horse. People who wanted to ride him knew that. Only Sandy could use the horse to earn money. So who have taken the chief? And who was the thin dark man at the ranch? At the ranch, I decided to look for the red four-wheel drive. The doors of some of the stable buildings were opened. I went into the buildings and I took a look around. Some of the stables were quite small. They had stalls for only 2 horses, but some stables were large. They have stalls for 5 or more horses. Many of the stables were locked. I looked into some of them through their windows. Every stable had a number. I watched 2 men bringing a horse from a small stable, 32. They put the horse into a trailer and they drove away. The stable areas were very quite busy and nobody looked at me. It was now early evening. Many horses were coming back from training on the track. Their jockey took them to the stable to rest. I walked along the roads between the stable. I'm not going to find the chief here, I thought, and I'm not going to learn anything more here. I need to talk to Sandy Bronner again. I go back to L.A. now. Sandy will phone me this evening. Suddenly, I saw a red four-wheel drive with a trailer. It was near a large stable, stable 14, which was 100 meters from me. A tall, slim, dark man was shutting the stable door. Is that the four-wheel that I saw at Sandy Ranch? I asked myself. I don't know. There were hundreds of red four-wheels in L.A. And there are thousands of tall, slim, dark men. A minute later, a rifle whip went past me. It was going towards the gateway. There were two people in the car. As the car passed me, I saw the driver's face. He was a tall, slim man that I had seen at Sandy Ranch. He was the man that Sandy had hit. I couldn't see the other person clearly. Was it a man or a woman? I didn't know. I watched the car. I stopped at the gate for a moment and then it left the stable area. I walked towards stable 14. It was no one near the building. The doors were closed. I went to the side of the building and I tried to look through the window, but I couldn't see into the stable. There was some wood fixed inside the window. I put my hands in my pocket and I took out my special key. My special keys could open many different doors. Perhaps I could open the stable door with one of those keys. I put one of the keys into the lock on the stable doors. I tried to turn the key, but it didn't turn. I put a different key into the lock, no luck. Then I heard a car coming towards the stable area. I didn't want anyone to see me near stable 14. I put a third key into the lock. This time the key turned. I opened the door quickly and I stepped inside the stable. I locked the door behind me. There was very little light inside the stable. There was a smell of horses and a straw. I looked around me. Along the wall to my left, there were stalls for horses, but there were no horses. All the stalls were empty. There was no stalls on the right-hand wall, and there was no door and no window in that wall. But there was a big cupboard on the wall, halfway along it. The cupboards were 3 meters high and 2 meters wide. There was nothing on it. It was empty. Then I heard a noise. The noise was very close to me. Was it coming from the big cupboard? No, the cupboards were empty. And there was nobody in the store. I did not understand. I opened the stable door a little and I looked outside. I had a shock. The four-wheel with a trailer have come back. It was reversing towards the stable door. I closed the door quickly and then looked around again. Where could I hide? There was a pile of straw in the corner of the stable. I ran to the corner and I hid myself under the straw. I heard the stable doors open. Suddenly there was more light inside the stable. Then I heard the car and the trailers coming in. I heard someone open the back of the trailer. I didn't move. I waited. I heard people moving in the stable. After a few minutes, I heard someone shut the trailer. They opened the stable door. The car and the trailer left the stable again and stopped outside. I heard someone shutting and locking the door. The stable was darker again. Then I heard the car moving away. I was safe. I lay under the straw and I waited. There was straw in my ears and in my nose. I waited and listened for a few minutes. Then I got up and walked towards the stable door. I looked around. There was very little light and I almost fell over something. There was some more straw in the stable near the door. And there was a bag of horse food. Someone is going to bring the horse here soon. I thought I must leave quickly. I unlocked the stable door and I opened it. I didn't see anyone outside. I stepped out the stable and turned around. I was going to lock the door. Suddenly there was a terrible pain in my head. Someone has hit me on the head. Someone had hit me very hard. I fell to the ground. A man's voice said, "You were right, Dick. There was somebody hiding in the stable." Then someone put a bag over my head, and someone tied my hands behind my back with a rope. I lay on the ground and waited. What next? There was a terrible pain in my stomach, and then in my arms, and then in my legs. Someone was kicking me very hard. Someone was kicking me again and again. Was I going to die? Then another man spoke. "Don't kill him. I want to ask him some questions," he said. "The kicking stopped." "Okay, mister." The second man said, "Well, what were you doing in the stable? Tell me. If you don't tell me, I kill you." က်သွားပြီချင်းနေကိုက်လိုက်တာနော် I thought for a second somebody kicked me and no. This time someone kicked my back. What is Dick? Who was Dick? Dick gave another kick. Security, I said. I'm a racecourse official. I'm checking security. A hand touched the yellow security pass. He is an official, Dick said. What shall we do? Leave him here, the first voice. He hasn't seen our faces. I had the two men walk away. I lay on the ground. I could not see because the bag was over my head. I could not speak. I could not stand up. My hands were tied behind me. My whole body was painful. I fainted. I woke up. I was lying on the ground. Where was I? I didn't know. Then I remember I was in the stable area at Santa Rosita racetrack. My hands were tied behind my back, and there was a bag over my head. My whole body was painful. What had happened to me? I remembered the two men. How long have I been on the ground? I tried to think. Then I heard a voice. Who are you? What happening here? I knew the voice. It was Slim. I didn't reply. Slim took the bag off my head and then he quickly untied the rope. I moved my arms. I stood up slowly. It was dark now. I have been tied up for a long time. Lenny, why are you tied up? Slim asked. I smiled. Hi, Slim. I said I was tired. I lay down here to sleep. While I was sleeping, somebody tied me up and then they put this bag over my head. Lenny, stop joking. I was worried about you. You didn't return the security pass, said Slim. I've been looking for you for an hour. What happened? I don't know, I replied. Someone hit me on the head. They put a bag over my head and then they tied my hands with a rope. They kicked me. I couldn't shout for help. I fainted. Who did this, Lenny? Slim asked. Who do you know at this racetrack? I know you, Slim, but I don't know any other people here, I said. And I don't know who did this to me. I didn't want to tell Slim about the chief or about the man in a red four-wheel drive. Perhaps someone make a mistake, I said. Please forget about this, Slim. Okay, somebody make a mistake, said Slim. They were trying to kill another person, not you. Slim didn't believe my story. Come to my office and sit down for a few minutes, he said. I went with Slim to his office by the gateway. I sat in a chair while Slim made some coffee. He started to ask me some more questions. Suddenly the phone rang. Slim answered the call. Then he put the phone down. Stay here and rest, Lenny, he said. I have to go to the minister's office for 5 minutes. Slim left the office. Quickly, I leaned across his desk and opened the drawer. There were lots of yellows and blue passes in the drawer. I took the blue pass and I put it in my pocket. Then I closed the drawer. Now I wanted to leave Santa Rosita as fast as possible. I left the yellow security pass on the desk and I walked to the car park. I got into my car. I started the engine. I drove back to my office building and I parked the car. My whole body was painful. I have a terrible headache. There was a red light on my telephone answering machine. There was a message for me, but I didn't listen to the message. I was tired. I looked at my watch. Then the time was 8:45 p.m. dinner time. But I didn't want to eat anything. I wanted to sleep. The phone rang. I didn't answer the phone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I listened while the answering machine recorded another message. Hi, Lenny, the voice from the answering machine. This is Harmon. I'm calling about my $100,000. I see you tomorrow. Harmon, I put my hand in my pocket. I have $200, which Sandy have given me. Would Harmon be happy with $200? I didn't want to think about this problem. I fell asleep. It was morning when I awoke. It was about 6:30 a.m. I didn't have a headache, but I was very tired. I got up and I drank some water. Then I sat in my chair again. I slept for an hour. I said to myself, soon I was dreaming. Oh, this one is huge. The book is huge. Sandy again. I was dreaming about Hawaii again. The sun was shining on my face. The song of the sea was around me. There was a beautiful woman standing next to me. Suddenly a hand was touching my arms. I opened my eyes. It was Sandy Bonner. He was standing beside me. Her hand was on my arms. My arms were painful. Ouch, I said. Mr. Samuel, are you okay? Have you been in a fight? She asked. I'm okay, I said. I looked at my watch. It was 10:30 a.m. I looked at Sandy. I found you yesterday evening, she said, and you weren't here. But I left a message on your answering machine. Have you found Chief? No, I said. But I'm learning a lot about horse racing. I want to ask you a question, Sandy. Who was your tall, slim visitor yesterday? Suddenly, Sandy's face became pale. She was very frightened. I told you not to come to the ranch. They were killed. She stopped speaking. Who will they kill, Sandy? I asked. Your tall, slim friends tried to kill me yesterday. You? Sandy was surprised. Where did you meet him? Forget about that, I replied. Is there anything that you wanted to tell me? I must have some more information. No, Mr. Samuel, said Sandy quietly. I can't tell you anything more. Sandy, I said, I want to help you, but you must help me. Tell me about Lou Weaver. Why does he walk around your ranch with a gun? Lou is a good man, she replied. He works for me. He takes care of the horses. He worries about me. I can't tell you anything more. Mrs. Bonner, I said, why won't you give me any information? I can't tell you anything more, Sandy said again. Now I must leave. If they see me here, they kill the chief. I paid you for the work that you did yesterday, but you make a mistake. I don't want you to do any more work for me. I wouldn't come here again, and I wouldn't phone you. Please forget about me and the chief, and please stay away from the ranch. Sandy turned and she ran out of the room. So I wasn't working for Sandy Bonner anymore, but I owed Harmon money. I took $200 and the blue security pass from the pocket. I threw the pass into the waste bin. I put $50 back into my pocket and I put $150 in an envelope. I wrote Harmon's name on the envelope. I left the office and I pushed the envelope under Harmon's doors. Then I drove home. 2 hours later, I was much better. At home, I had had a hot shower and some breakfast, and I put on some clean clothes. I decided to enjoy myself. I only have $50, but I decided to go to the races at Santa Rosita. First, I drove back to my office. When I got the office door, the phone was ringing. I picked up the phone. Hello, I said. Lena Samuel speaking. Mr. Samuel, said the voice. It was Sandy Bonner. I'm sorry, Mr. Samuel. I was wrong. A horse called Golden Dragon. Suddenly, she stopped speaking. Sandy, what do you want to tell me? But there was no reply. I put the phone down. I was going to Santa Rosita, but I wasn't walking now. It was a lovely day, and I was going to enjoy myself. I was going to forget about Sandy Bonner. I wasn't going to look for a horse called the Chief, and I wasn't going to ask about a horse called Golden Dragon. But I took the blue security pass from the waste bin. Then I opened the drawer of my desk, and I took my gun from it, and I put the pass and the gun in my pocket. Perhaps they'd be useful, said to myself. Then I left the office and I got into my car. Golden Dragon. The sun was shining as I drove to Santa Rosita racetrack. I was wearing my baseball cap Dark glasses again. My binoculars were in my car. In my pockets were blue security pass, $50 and my gun. I thought about Sandy. Why had she phoned me, Anna? Why had she stopped speaking suddenly? Why did she say the name Golden Dragon? Where was the chief now? Perhaps I looked at the stable 14 again. I said to myself, I'm not working for Sandy Brunner anymore. But someone hit me outside stable 14. Someone did not want to see me inside. Why not? I looked at the blue sky and the hot sun. It was a lovely day. I decided to watch a few races before I went to stable 14. The racetrack was very busy. It was Saturday, and thousands of people have come to watch the races. The car park was full of cars. I paid for my racetrack ticket. It cost $220. I paid for my car park ticket. It cost $10. Now I had $20. I picked up my binoculars and I walked toward the track. Many people were standing by the track, and many people were standing in the grandstand. Everyone was watching the racing. I stood by the track. I watched 3 races. They were very exciting. Many people bet on horses. They choose the horses which they want to win a race. They make a bet on it. They bet on the horse to win the race. They pay some money at the betting office. If the horse doesn't win the race, the betting office keeps their money. If the horse which they choose is a winner, the betting office gives them more money than they have paid. There was a betting office at the racetrack. People who have come to watch the races could make their bet at the betting office, but there was also betting offices all over the country. People who were not at the racetrack could bet on the races at the Central Register too. After each race, there was an announcement from the racetrack loudspeakers. The message told everyone which horse had won the race. People who had made bets on the winner was very happy. Lots of people watched the races through binoculars. I had brought my binoculars with me, but I didn't watch the horses through them. I watched the people. I was looking for a small, tall, slim man. Suddenly I saw him. He was sitting in the grandstand. He was about 30. He was wearing dark glasses and a dark suit. It was the man who had seen at the ranch and in the red 4-wheel drive. He was talking to another man who was sitting next to him. The other man was about 10 years older. He was tall and heavy. He had long red hair tied in a ponytail. He was wearing brown jacket. Sandy had told me about this man. It was Dick Gates. I watched the 2 men through my binoculars. They couldn't see me. The men were talking and they were watching the races. The dark-haired man had a mobile phone and he was making lots of phone calls. I moved the binoculars and I looked at some other people in the crowd. Suddenly, I saw another man that I knew, Harmon. Harmon started to walk toward me. He was about 100 meters away, but he hasn't seen me. I didn't want to talk to Harmon, but I wanted to watch the other 2 men, so I didn't move. Harmon came closer and closer. There were hundreds of people near the track, but Harmon was big and tall. It was easy to see him. Now he was only 20 meters from me. I turned and started to walk quickly away from him. I walked to the betting office. It was a long, low building with many windows. People were standing in the lines at the window. They were waiting to make their bets. Behind each window, there was a person who took the people money and wrote down the details of their bets. I joined the line. Perhaps Harmon wouldn't see me, I thought. Then a hand hit me on the back, a very large man. "Hi, Lenny," Harmon said loudly. "What are you doing here? Do you like racing? I didn't know that." "Hi, Herman," I replied quickly. "Yes, I like racing. I want to bet on the next race." I smiled at the huge bodyguard and pointed to the line of people at the betting window. Herman joined the line behind me. "I wanted to talk to you about my money, Lenny," Herman said. "You made a mistake when you gave me the envelope. It was only $150 in it." Oh, I'm sorry about that, Harmon, I said. The line of the people was moving. I was getting near to the bedroom window. Don't worry about it, Harmon said with a big smile. Give me my $850 now. I was almost at the front of the line. I was almost at the bedroom window. There was one man in front of me. I didn't know what to do. Harmon, I began. You're next, Lenny, said Harmon. He pushed me forward. Suddenly, I was standing in front of the bedroom window. There was a woman behind it. Yes, the woman said. I took the money from the pocket. I had $220. I have to bet on a horse quickly. I didn't know which one to choose. I looked at the list of the horse for the next race. Then I saw a name I knew, Golden Dragon. Golden Dragon was going to run in the next race. Only a few people were betting on the horse. His odds were 50 to 1. If Golden Dragon wins the race, I've got 50 times of the money I bet on him. I thought I want to bet $220 on Golden Dragon to win the next race, I said quickly. The woman took my money. She gave me a piece of paper with the details of my bet written on it. I turned to Harmon. I want to watch this race, I said. After that, I give you money. Okay, Lennon, said Harmon. Please watch the race together. Harmon bet on a race called Margarita. Then we walked to the track. We waited for the race to start. I looked through my binocular. Dick Gates and his friends were sitting in their seat. The thin, dark man was speaking into his mobile phone again. Margarita is a winner, Lenny. Margarita is going to win the race, Harmon said. She won her last 2 races. No, Golden Dragon will win, I said. Harmon laughed. Golden Dragon, he said. He's the lowest horse in the race. He never won a race. The horses were going towards the starting gate. Harmon pointed to a big brown horse. His jockey was wearing a gold-black shirt. That's Golden Dragon, he said. He won't win. Golden Dragon is big and strong, I said. Harmon looked at the horse again. Yes, you're right, he said. He is big and strong, but he's a loser. Margarita is going to win. I looked at the horses through my binoculars. They were ready to start the race. Then I looked quickly at the grandstand. Dick Gates and his friends were holding binoculars. They were looking at the horses by the starting gates. Suddenly the crowd shouted. The starting gates had opened. The race had started. I looked at the horses galloping along the tracks. Golden Dragon was the slowest horse. Fast, Golden Dragon, faster, faster, someone was shouting. It was me. The horses came round the track. They were galloping towards us. Margarita was in the first place, but Golden Dragon was in the second place. At first, he had ran slowly, but now he is running faster and faster. The horses galloped past us. People were shouting. Golden Dragon and Margarita were side by side. The 2 horses crossed the finishing line together. Which horse had won? We waited while the official looked at the photograph of the finish. It was amazing, said Harmon. Golden Dragon was very fast. He never ran so fast. 5 minutes later, there was an announcement from the loudspeaker. The result of the last race is first Golden Dragon, second Margarita. I jumped up and down, and I put my arms around Harmon. Wow, Harmon said. How much did you win? Wait here, I said. I walked to the betting window. I showed the woman the piece of paper with the details of my bet. She gave me my money. Golden Dragon had won at 50 to 1. I have won $100,000. I gave Harmon $850. Then I said goodbye to him. I looked at the grandstand again. Where were Gates and his friend? They weren't sitting in their seat. They have left after Golden Dragon race. Perhaps they have bet on Golden Dragon too. But they haven't left their seat before the race. I remember the thick, dark-haired man and a mobile phone. Perhaps they have been betting by phone. Yes, that was the answer. But there were other questions. These 2 men knew Sandy. They had stolen the chief, and Sandy had told me Golden Dragon name. What was happening? I walked away from the track. I took off my cap and my dark glasses. I walked towards the stable area. There was 2 security guards and some racetrack official standing by the gateway to the stable area. Slim wasn't there. I watched the gateway. The 2 guards stopped every car at the gateway. They checked the driver ID, and if they're a trailer, an official checked the horse ID too. I put the blue security pass around my neck and I walked up to the gate. I waved to the security guard and smiled. Then I walked through the gateway into the stable area. The area was very busy. There were horses and cars and trailers everywhere. Jockeys in the brightly colored clothes were talking to trainers. I walked slowly towards stable 14. I stopped about 50 meters from the large stable. I put on my cap and my dark glasses again, and I stood near some trees. The red 4-wheel drive and the trailer were parked outside stable 14. I didn't see a horse in the trailer. I stood and waited. Then someone I knew walked towards stable 14. It was Lou Weaver. I looked at his face. He was very pleased about something, but he was very worried about something too. He stood outside the stable. A few minutes later, a jockey came towards stable 14 with a brown horse. The jockey was wearing a gold and black shirt. Lou spoke to the jockey and took the horse from him. I knew the horse. It was the winner of the last race, Golden Dragon. I didn't understand if Golden Dragon was Sandy Bonner horse. Why hadn't she told me this? Then a man came out of the stable. It was the tall, dark-haired man. He held Lou's arms and they walked into the stable with a horse. The door closed. 10 minutes passed. The dark-haired man appeared again. He opened both of the stable door and he reversed the red car and a trailer into the stable. He closed the door behind him. I waited another 5 minutes. The door opened again and the red and a trailer came out. The dark-haired man was in the car. He stopped the cars outside the stable. He got out and he went back inside the building. I walked slowly towards the car and trailer. Now there was a horse in the trailer. It's Golden Dragon. I thought, he's going home after his race. I walked back towards the gate. I sat on the ground by the tree. I have an idea. I'm going to wait until the red car and the trailer left the racetrack. Then I was going to look inside stable 14 again. I have lots of questions that I want to answer. I have been hit on the head and tied up with a rope outside the stable. Why had that happened? What were these 2 women doing? Why was Lou Weaver here? Did Sandy knew about this? I sat and waited. 10 minutes later, the red 4-wheel drive and the trailer went past me and I stopped at the gate. There were 2 people in the car now. One was the dark-haired man and I couldn't see the other person clearly. Was it Dick Gates or was it Lou Weaver? The car and the horse were checked. Then the 4-wheel drive went through the gateway and I left the racetrack. I was going to be careful today. I waited for an hour. The 4-wheel drive did not come back. The stable area was not very busy now. The sun was not so bright. I took my special key out of the pocket and I opened the door stable 14. Soon I was inside the building. I have to close the door behind me. It was dark inside the stable. I put my right hand on the wall. There was a light switch. I moved my hands around the wall. Nothing. I moved forward slowly with my hands on the wall. At last I found a switch. It was in a corner. I touched the switch, but no lights come on. I'm going to walk back to the door. I was going to open the door a little. I wanted some more lights inside the stable, but I didn't move. I heard something. It was the noise of the electric motors. I took my guns out of the pocket. Something very strange was happening. Light was coming into the dark stable. But it wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from the right-hand wall. After a few seconds, I could clearly see the big cupboard was moving slowly. It was a door in the wall behind the cupboards. The cupboards were fixed to a door. The switch I have touched have started an electric motor. The electric motor was opening this secret door. Yes, the light was coming from behind the door. The lights were coming from a room behind the secret door. In the room there was a store, and in the store there was a big brown horse. I have a strange noise on my first visit to the stable 14. Now I understood. The noise has come from the room. I walked towards the horse. Stand still, a man's voice said. Something hard and sharp was pushed into my back. I knew the voice. I started to turn towards the man. Stand still, the man said again. Throw your gun behind you, then lie down on the floor. I did what the man told me to do. I lay on the floor, and I waited for a few seconds. Then I turned over very quickly. Lou Weaver was standing beside me. He was holding a large fork. It was a fork that was used for moving straw. Very quickly, I pulled the fork from Louis' hands and I kicked his leg. I kicked them very hard. Louis gave a loud cry and he fell down on the floor beside me. I picked up my gun. I moved over Lou. I sat on his chest. The old man couldn't move, and I have the gun. Okay, Lou, I said. Do you remember me? Yes, I remember you, Lou replied. You came to the ranch yesterday, then. He looked at my security pass. Are you the official here? He asked. He was frightened. No, I said. My name is Lieutenant Samuel. I'm a private detective. I'm working for Sandy Bronner. I'm looking for the chief. I showed Lou my detective license. He was surprised. Okay, he said. You found the chief, but Sandy knows where he is. What do you mean? I asked. Let me get up and I tell you everything, Lou said. We stood up. Lou walked over to the store and pointed to the big brown horse. This is the chief, he said. I'm taking care of here until tomorrow. Why is the chief here at the racetrack? I asked. Why is he in this secret room? Lou touched the horse nose. The chief made a soft noise. Golden Dragon didn't run in the last race, Lou said. The chief ran in the race. The official didn't know about it. The chief and the Golden Dragon were the same height and the same color, but the chief ran much faster than the Golden Dragon. He's a winner. But the racetrack official checked the horse's passport and tattoos on racing day. I said, the chief ID and Golden Dragon IDs are different. Yes, the official checked the horse's ID on the racing day. Lou said, they check the ID when the horses arrive and they check them again when they leave, but nobody checked them on the training days. The chief came here in the trailer yesterday afternoon. He was put in his secret room. The trailer was empty and when it left the racetrack. Nobody checked the trailer. The chief stayed here last night. This morning, Lou went on. Golden Dragon came here in a trailer. Golden Dragon. This morning, Golden Dragon came here in the trailer. The officer checked his passport and his tattoo, but Golden Dragon didn't run in the race. That afternoon, Golden Dragon was put in this secret chain room. The chief was taken to the track. The chief ran in the race instead of the Golden Dragon. The chief won the race and then he was brought to this room again and the Golden Dragon was taken away in the trailer. His ID was checked at the gate. The chief was staying in this room again tonight. Lou continued, there is no racing tomorrow. Sunday are training days, and when the trainer comes tomorrow, it will be empty. Nobody will check it. Then the chief will go back to the ranch. So, you are working with this criminal, I said. And Sandy knew about it. You are criminal too. How much money did you and Sandy win, Lou? Mr. Bronner and I have I haven't won anything, Lou said angrily. Kate and his friends, Ventana's other criminals, they own Golden Dragon. They came to our ranch on Thursday morning and Kate stole the chief. We didn't knew their plan then. At midday today, they came to the ranch again. They told us about the plan. They put the Sandy in the storeroom and they locked the door. They have guns and they made me come here with them. Ventana said, if you don't help us look after the chief, we will kill Sandy Brunner. I hope to help them. Suddenly there was a noise from the front of the stable. Lou pulled the gun out of my hand. Be quiet, he said. Stay here with the horse. Don't make a noise. Gates and Ventana have come back. If they find you here, they kill you. I lay down in the straw next to the chief. He was very big. Don't please stand on me, I whispered to him. Weaver, a man's voice shouted. Where are you? Why is that door open? Lou walks toward the front of the stable. I could not see anything, but I could hear the conversation. I'm sorry, Mr. Gate, Lou said. I was hot and the chief was hot after the race and forget about the horse. Gate shouted. The horse will be dead tomorrow. Dead? Why? Lou Weaver asked angrily. We done everything you wanted. The chief ran in the race instead of the Golden Dragon. The chief won the race for you. You must let Sandy go free. You must go away and never come back. The other man, Ventana, laughed. It was a cruel laugh. We won 500 millions on Golden Dragon. Won the race. He said, we made bets all over the country. We made our bets by phone. We don't want anyone to find out about that. So the chief will die, and we will kill the girl, and then we will kill you too, Weaver. Kill Sandy, Lou said angrily. No, there was a loud bang and a cry of pain. There was two more loud bang, and then there was another noise. Something fell into the ground. I've shot him, Dick. Ventana said. Are you okay? No, Kate said. The stupid old man has shot me in the arms. Very carefully, I looked out from the chief's door. Lou Weaver was lying on the ground. My gun was on the ground beside him. Ventana was holding a gun. Dick Gates was holding his right hand with his left hand. There was blood on his hand. What should I do with the horse? Ventana asked. Should I kill him? He picked up my gun. He started to walk towards the chief and me. No, Gates said. We leave it here and lock the door. The horse will die. Okay, Dick, said Ventana. Where are we going now? We're going to ride a winner ranch. Gates said. We're going to kill Sandy Brunner. Then no one will know about our plans. I had the stable door closed. I had the key turn in the lock. Gates and his friends were going to kill Sandy. I have to move fast. When Gates and Ventana have left, I came out of the secret store. Lou Weaver was badly hurt, but he was alive. There was a bullet in his shoulder. His shoulder was bleeding, and there was a lot of blood. I took off Lou's shirt and I tore a piece of cloth from it. I tied the cloth around his shoulder. I covered the holes in his shoulder, but I couldn't stay with him. I have to get to ride a winner ranch. I have to get there quickly. Gates and his friends had driven away 15 minutes before, and they were going to kill Sandy. Someone will come and take care of you, Lou, I said. You're going to be okay. Then I thought of something. The races have finished now. People are leaving the racetrack and going home. There was going to be lots of traffic. The roads were going to be full of cars. The Ride-A-Winner ranch was only a few kilometers away, but I couldn't drive there in less than an hour. What could I do? Suddenly something pushed me in the back. What was it? Was it again? I turned around quickly. It was the chief. He had come out of his door. He was looking for Lou. The big horse saw the old man lying on the ground. The chief went to him and touched Lou's body with his mouth. The horse was trying to help his old friend. Then I have a plan. I looked around the stable. There were pieces of rope hanging on the wall. I tied the rope around the chief's head and the neck. I whispered to the horse, "Come with me, Chief. We're going to help Sandy." I took the horse toward the stable door. Gates and Ventnor had locked them. I took the special key from my pocket. A minute later, the chief and I was outside the stable. I left the door open. It was late afternoon. I looked around. People were putting horses in trailer. No one was watching out. I have to hurry. Soon it's going to be dark. Okay, I said the chief. I never ridden a horse before. It's going to be difficult, but I have to try. I jumped onto the chief and we moved towards the gateway. We looked ahead. Slim and another security guard was standing at the gate. Racetrack officials were with them. They were checking ID. A car with a trailer was going through the gateway. I kept my feet on the chief's side. We galloped towards the gate. Suddenly Slim saw us. He tried to shut the gate. "Stop!" Slim shouted. "What are you doing? Where are you going?" I didn't reply. Slim stood in the gateway for a moment and then he ran. The chief galloped through the gateway. I turned the horse into the car park and we stopped. I shouted to Slim, "There's a man in stable 14. He been shot." I shouted, "Call doctor and call the police." Then I turned the chief again and we galloped across the car park. There were long lines of cars leaving the racetrack, but we weren't going to go on the road. We were going to gallop across the fields towards the ranch. Oh my God. This book is big. I held on tightly on the rope around the chief's neck. The big brown horse galloped very fast. He knew where his home was. I smiled. Riding was easy. But then I saw a fence in front of our galloping was not difficult. But could we jump the fence? I kicked my feet on the horse side and the chief jumped. He went over the fence, but I did not stay with him. Crash! I fell onto the dusty ground. I sat on the ground. My shoulder was painful and I was worried. How could I get to the ranch now? Then I heard a noise. It was the horse. The chief was walking back to me. He came up to me and waited. I stood up slowly. I jumped onto the chief's back. We started galloping again. I saw the ranch in the distance. There was a car moving along the track to the white ranch house. It was a red four-wheel drive. Were we too late? As we closer to the ranch, we slowed down. Soon the chief was walking quietly. The big brown horse was tired. He had walked hard that day. The red four-wheel drive had stopped in front of the white ranch house. The chief and I went to the side of the house and I watched the door. After a minute, the door opened and Dick Gates and Sandy Brona came out. Gates was pushing Sandy in front of him. He held the gun in his left hand. Sandy's hands were tied with a rope, and then Ventnor was walking behind Gates and Sandy. He had a gun too. Suddenly, Sandy stopped walking. He turned and looked at the Gates. "Where Lou?" she shouted at him. "He's dead," Gates replied. "The stupid old man shot me." Gates pointed to the blood on his right arm. Sandy started to cry. "Please leave me," she said. "I won't tell anyone about you. You took the chief and you won your money, and now you kill a kind old woman. Please go and leave me. Be quiet and get into the car," Gates shouted. He pointed the gun at Sandy. No one had seen the chief and me. We were standing quietly at the side of the house. "Get into the car," Gates shouted again. I kicked the chief. The horse and I moved forward. The two criminals had the horse and they turned around. But we were only 5 meters away. "Go, Chief, go!" I shouted. The horse jumped at the red-haired man and I hit him very hard. Gates fell to the ground. There was a shot. The shot came from the Gates gun. Ventnor's cried with the pain and I fell to the ground too. Gates had shot him. I jumped down from the horse. I ran back to Sandy. She was looking down at Ventnor. "He's okay," he said. When the chief hit Gates, Kate shot his friend in the leg. Kate was lying on the ground. He was not moving. His eyes were closed. I picked up the two guns. Then I untied the rope from Sandy's hand and I tied it around the criminal's hand. I took the mobile phone from Ventnor's pocket and quickly I called the police. After that, I told Sandy about my visit to Santana Rosa's racetrack. I told her about the secret room in the stable 14, and I told her about Lou's Weaver and my ride from the racetrack. Lou is not dead, I said. I couldn't tell you about Gates and Ventnor this morning. I was frightened. Sandy said, but I was worried about Lou. He's a good man. Will he be okay? Yeah, Lou will be okay. I said, what happened here? Tell me the whole story now. I told you the truth when I come to see you yesterday morning. Gates come here Thursday morning and he took the chief. On Thursday afternoon, I have a phone call from Ventnor. I told you about that. He said I got the chief. I borrowed him. I will return him after a few days. But if you tell the police, I will kill the horse. We watching you. I believe him, Mr. Samuel. Yesterday morning, I didn't know any more facts. Sandy went on. Gates and Ventnor haven't phoned me again. They haven't asked for money for the chief. Lou and I didn't know what to do, so I thought about the private detective. I saw your name and address in the phone book and I came to your office. Lou didn't know about my plan. But Ventnor came to the ranch on Friday afternoon. He asked me about the chief and about Lou. He wanted me to help him, but he didn't tell me his plan. He frightened me. I hit him. He was very angry. This morning I went to L.A. and spoke to you again. I said, forget about me and the chief. But when I got back here, Gates and Ventnor were here again. They told us their plan. They wanted to take Lou to the racetrack. The chief was behaving badly. They wanted Lou to take care of him. Ventnor have again. He was going to kill Lou if he didn't go with them. So Sandy said, I phoned you while Ventnor and Gates were taking Lou to their car. I tried to tell you about their plan, but Kate came back into the house. He heard me speaking to you, and I couldn't tell you everything. The Kate locked me in the storeroom. They were going to kill me this evening, Sandy said. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for everything, Mr. Samuel. I was pleased to help you, I replied, but it was the chief who saved you. Sandy put her arms around the horse's neck. He's wonderful, she said. She smiled. I wanted her to put her arms around my neck, but she likes the horse, not me. Come to the ranch anytime, Mr. Samuel, Sandy said. Come and ride the chief again. He likes you. That's very kind of you, I said, but I won't ride again. I never ridden a horse before today, and today I rode a winner. But it was too exciting. Being a private detective and catching criminals is less dangerous. Yes. Ding. Sao cả câu mà để xem.